Yesterday's price action was not that atypical from what you see after a large sell-off in the market and then a gap lower in a bounce. We held the pre-market lows for a couple hours. First move was up. It was huge. It took us right back up to where we kind of broke down at the end of the day on Monday. And then we had a extremely deep pull-in. So, this type of volatility intraday happens after the market starts to really come in. A lot of the institutions that run market-making programs will just, turn off their machines or make their market-making programs much wider because they don't want to risk. The way market makers make money is on the spread between the bid and the ask. And when volatility is higher, what they need to do so they don't lose money is to widen those spreads. And so rather than seeing a $1 to $2 intraday range, like we would typically do in a SPY, you can see a 3 to 5 or 4 to 6. And it started to kind of narrow up. That's what we started to see kind of in the middle of the day, where we tested the high and then closed above it. So what we want to see today is some type of narrowing. And so if it ends up being a strong day and we kind of work our way back up to here, in this area here, and the first obvious thing is a test of 270. But you would expect us not to really get below this 266 or maybe even a little bit higher. Overnight or pre-market lows were 266.5. So still a very wide, potentially wide range to deal with if we break above 270. I'm just not really expecting us to go much below 260 in this area right here today. This is where I'd be aggressively buying. But this is, what is this, 9? From the time the market opened, it's about a $10 range here. So, $6 range today seems like it's probably about right, $4 to $6. And then hopefully over the next few days, we'll get some more tightening, some sideways action, and we'll get a break from that consolidation. So very much it's still move-to-move type trading, but if the volatility compresses, you can kind of hold things a little bit longer. So seeing the pre-market starting to come in, starting to cover some short, basically getting more net long. And if we have a whoosh right on the open, start to get more aggressive down into here. Otherwise, you really need to see probably a consolidation above 268 to feel good about the upside. And this is just kind of have yesterday's close after hours consolidation between 68 and 69. IWM. So IWM I totally missed. There was a good buy there at November's low on the open. I was focused on VXX and SPY, as you probably noticed. But yeah, right on the open, it flushed down to this low, this November 16th low, and bounced all the way back up to 150 to the top of this consolidation. So that was pretty good. Let's zoom in. So right on the open, held 144. They ripped it up to, didn't quite get to 150 on the open, got there at the close.
DHI and DHX, the ticker there saying a 2018 top line trend should be similar to.
So I said I set a buy script to buy it actually, to buy IWM to here into 147.50.
Jinko Solar announcing
against 147.
Follow on 3.6 million share offering.
And I would take a look at it again at the 150 area here to see if that holds or fails. Okay, so we have some earning stocks we're going to look at. As volatility starts to compress again, we start to look at some regular names. There's some pretty good ones this morning. Coors is something we were playing in the 30s when it bottomed and then gapped above 50. It's run up a ton now. The numbers on the surface looked really good. They crushed EPS. The guidance didn't look particularly impressive. Same-store sales were weak, but they opened a ton of new stores, which drove revenue growth. So here was the gap that I just mentioned. That was last quarter, where it gapped above 50, and then trended all the way up to the high 60s, and they were gapping above 70. We got to go to the daily. going to put this in perspective. It's a great run off of the lows, by the way. So this one had
I think
topped out at
National
100.
LNC selling 3 tranches of senior
And then it
notes.
came back up, and I thought the downtrend was broken. It went down. It took out the low. And then it gapped on earnings, and so this time, when they like the earnings again, so it's gapping to here. Let's zoom in on it. I think it's up about 40% since the last quarter's earnings call report. So first of all, if it gets sold here and fails here above 71 and gets below 70, you would look for a pull into $68. 68 to 67.75, something like that, right here, where it topped out a couple weeks ago. And then if they really wanted to put the kibosh on it, just because it's had a huge run from 50 to 70, maybe it would overshoot all the way down to, I put that on the sheet, I put 66, good, 66 and a half. At which point I would definitely be a buyer down in this area here, but trading on the short side to here. So let's zoom in, pre-market action. So yeah, it's only done about not even 3% of the volume. So we'll have to see on the open what it does. In the first, we have the pre-market high of 71. Basically, right in the open, we want to see if it comes into here and fails. It comes back below 71. First spot, there might be some bids is $70. If it fails there, you're playing for a move all the way back into here. After 10 o'clock, it's still holding above 70. You can look at it on the long side to the pre-market high. The next one is Snapchat, Snap. So Snap, I stepped off the desk when they reported and it spiked 18, or else I love it as a short at 18 because of the long-term resistance. I wouldn't be like looking to aggressively buy it until 1620 to 1640, something like that. So here you can see it gapped down to 18. Probably that was an earnings call right here. Here, it came back down and consolidated just above 18, broke to the downside, came back, did the retest, and then just got crushed at $12. So 50% off $12 off the low is right back up to 18. That's going to be a tough one. And maybe if it closes above there today, it works its way back up to 19, 19 and a half, something like that. But there's definitely going to be people, I think, selling here. You know, the analysts upgraded from a sell to a neutral, some I think from a neutral to a buy. It's a big move, and it's very liquid, so that's kind of good. So let's take a look and see what it's doing. It sold off in the after hours from 18. Let's see what it's doing this morning. So it came all the way down to, so you can see it flushed through 1650 quite a bit again, then made a lower high at 1740. This morning, got to 1750. So these are the two spots, 1740, 50, and then 18, and then support. Looks like 1660 in the pre-market in the after hours. And then on the daily, I think it's the real support is like down around here. So yeah, it looks like first trade right on the open is, you know, look for failure here, maybe a flush back down to 17. See if this range starts to narrow. We've already seen a narrowing. And this is bigger. It's tighter. Maybe even gets a little bit tighter on the open. Disney, DIS. So market liked the numbers. And first it spiked. What did I put on resistance? Okay, 108.5, 108.5, 109 is resistance, I think, on the higher time frame. So initially got above there, came back down. It looks like about 106.5. It's pretty wild price action, actually. So sometimes we'll say the initial reaction in the after hours, when you get wild price action like this, you'll get a repeat on the open. So
next noting investment
breaks.
people
There's one of these, some up and down. It's another one that hasn't done much volume in the pre-market, 150,000 shares, which is only about 2% of its average daily volume. Let me show you some higher time frame. This is wild. So the after hours wildness is, seems like they can't really make up their mind what they want to do here, you know? Just after all this wildness, it kept on making some higher lows and got tight. And I would definitely fade it into 109.80 to 110 into here. It really broke down here the other day. Then got back above 110, but you can see it gapped to 110 here and just, obviously the market caused that move, but it's a tough spot. If it ends up being strong in the open and it's consolidating above 109 and holds above 110, then you can start to think about this last month resistance area. Did I put it on the sheet? 112 to 113? Yes, I did. So that's this right here. Just be a little bit careful right on the open. It does tend to gyrate up and down, and as we saw from the chart I was highlighting there. And then WIN. So a short, caught the short here from 180. This is one of those where when it gets to 180 in the pre-market, you short it because it might come in, $4 or $6, maybe even a little bit more, but very well later in the day, it could get right back up to, you can see when the news was announced that the guy, the now former CEO, was a sexual assaulter, rapist, all around bad person. The stock got hammered and they weren't getting rid of him, so it just kept on going. It did start to stabilize, then retested the low with the market gap down yesterday. I'm sorry, didn't actually retested the low in after hours. I guess people, when they got rid of him, first thought that was a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. So I'm look for support here, 74. I mean, for me, the idea is it can get back up to 180, 182 again today. Like, where is it a pretty good restored buy? Probably 175 or lower. I put 174 as the first support, I guess, was this area right here. I give it a shot on the long side. On a flush right on the open. I think I might already put the script in to buy it. And then play it for a move back up to here, Maybe even hold a little bit just to see. You can do a comparison with LVS to see how much, since it's the same sector, how much LVS is off of its high versus WIN. I think if you get rid of this old guy anyway, the companies become comparable again. And I think LVS is about 5% off its high, which would, bring this back up to like here or something like that. So that's that idea. And that is it. So let me just quickly check back in with the SPYs. I'm sorry, I gotta check in with VXX too for you. Okay, let's try. You can see here it flushed down to 267.5 and it's right back up here. So it's going to be interesting right on the open, see if it drives into 269. Remember, it's failed there the last two afternoons. Okay, so VXX closed at 43. It was actually gapping up this morning. I guess I was up earlier this morning to short it at 47. So, I mean, to me, I covered on the open on this yesterday to 44, 43, got long for a few dollars. And like all afternoon, it was having trouble holding above 52. In the 30-minute, you can see this very clearly. If you were micro trading it, you probably got stopped out a lot on these wicks. But eventually, right at the end, it dropped this $10, $8. And so now it's gapping up again. So we want to see lower highs. I mean, you don't really want to see it get up here again, but you really want to see it stay below 48 today. And then eventually, I would think over the next few days, it'll work its way back down to here. So, but at least play it for move down to 40. So, but just a reminder how dangerous this was. I'm covering here and it went up, it bounced $8 in like an hour, less than an hour. And so that's why I'm being careful about it. But yeah, I mean, if I can get short this thing, 46.5, 47 in here, probably against the 49.50 area, cover some into here and hold some for a bigger move the next couple of days. That's my thought on that. All right, guys. Obviously, a lot of opportunity right now, a ton of volatility. Be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. what stocks are in play, what levels in those stocks are important, and how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.